Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So today I would like to talk about the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. The topic of this video is mainly going to be about how I felt about this device after around 3 months and if people should buy this device. So I've had this for about 3 months and so far I've had many great things to say about this device, especially for the price point. It does not disappoint you. This phone is definitely something that I would recommend for people to buy. So if someone does ask me what phone should I buy at this price point, I'd either say the OnePlus 8 or the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. So let's go ahead and talk about the device a little bit. Overall, let's first up talk about the build quality. So I've talked about the build quality a lot about this phone, and that's why I'm just going to go quickly through it. I'm just going to sum it up real quick and not talk too much into detail. So obviously we have a plastic back. It's a matte plastic back, and honestly it feels really nice. I have nothing to complain about it, and I've enjoyed using this device. The color just looks really nice, and the overall feel, I have no issue with it. Some people might not like having a plastic back, but I guess it doesn't break. That's one of the benefits. A glass back would break if you dropped it. This won't. This might get some scratches and stuff, but that's not going to be as big of a deal as a glass back. And the repair is probably going to be cheaper as well. Something else is the front display. It's Gorilla Glass 3, but I did go ahead and put a screen protector on it. If you can see, I did a terrible job with that. I got some bubbles all over it, so not a big deal. But the screen, before I put on the screen protector, I used it for around 2 months, and then I got my screen protector. So during that time, I did not get any scratches. Maybe some micro scratches from keys and coins, but nothing major, nothing from drops. I've dropped it. I'd like to say that I did drop it. I did get a scuff on one of the aluminum sides. So the sides are made out of aluminum, and on one of the sides, I can't remember exactly which side, I got a little scuff on it, which did annoy me a little bit because that happened around the first month that I had the device, and it did annoy me a lot. So other than that, nothing too major. Everything else, honestly, is great about the design. Next up, cameras. So we have a 32 megapixel front-facing camera, and we have a 12, 12, and I believe 12 again. So this has three 12 megapixel cameras on the back, and they take pretty nice photos. If I was to compare this to other devices like the OnePlus 8, I'd say the OnePlus 8 takes worse photos when compared to this. The S20 FE does definitely take better photos in my opinion, and also video recording is pretty nice. The video recording, however, I did have some issues. I saw that when compared to my S10 Plus, which is a phone from a year ago, the S10 Plus did take better videos, and overall the stabilization was better on that device. I'm not exactly sure if that's something with my unit, but I believe that that's just the general thing with the S20 FE, since they did make the camera a little worse than the S20 anyways. It is to be expected. So other than that, camera quality is pretty nice. Photos overall, they're really great. You're not going to be disappointed by the photo quality. Only thing, as I said, is going to be a little weird is the video quality. But that is still a really good video quality and video capturing method on this device. It takes 4K 60 FPS, and so far I've enjoyed it. As I said, it is a little worse, but it's not as worse as OnePlus 8 or the Google Pixel 4 or 5, since they are not very capable with taking videos. Other than that, it's overall pretty good. The front-facing camera, I didn't enjoy too much. The colors were a little bad on it, and the texturing was not the best. So I felt like it would put in pixels together too much. Like if I took a picture of myself, if I took a selfie, my face would just look a little weird, and sometimes it even came out blurry. I had perfect lighting conditions, and I'm not exactly sure why. I believe that it's just how it takes pictures. I guess it doesn't have the best front-facing camera, and other than that, not too many things to complain about. Overall, it's still a pretty good camera, so pretty decent, and you're not going to have issues with it. That's not going to be a setback for the reason that you're buying this device. Next up, let's talk about battery. We have a 4,500 milliamp hour battery in this beast, so it's very big, and especially with the 1080p display, even at 120 hertz, which I always keep it on, I definitely recommend to keep it on 120 hertz, never bring it to 60 hertz. And the only reason I'm saying that is because there's not too much of a difference with battery drainage. If you've seen any of the tests compared with the 120 hertz to 60 hertz, you've noticed that it doesn't make too much of a difference. So you're not going to have an issue with that. And overall, I'd rather have that smoothness when I have a big battery like this. So let's go back to the topic of batteries. Battery life, I can last a whole day and still have around 30% left. Sometimes if I'm not using it, if I'm using it heavily that day, I'll have like 15, 10%, sometimes 20. But if I'm not using it too much and I use it for like, I guess 5 hours, I have like 30 to 40% remaining. So that's overall pretty good battery life. So far, it's never run out on me during the day. I wake up in the morning, I take my phone, and all the way up until midnight, I'm able to use my device. So no issues with battery, and overall it's pretty great. So next up is going to be the screen. The screen is pretty good. The only complaint I have about the screen is going to be the brightness. So the brightness is not as bright as the S20 and some other flagship devices, which does annoy me because when I go outside sometimes I turn up my brightness all the way. Right now it does look very bright, but when I do that, I still sometimes have a hard time seeing some things on the screen, which does kind of get annoying at sometimes. However, if you don't use your phone out too much when you're walking and whatnot, you're not going to have an issue. If you're using it in the car, maybe when you're sitting or maybe in an indoor place, you might get some sunlight, but you won't have too much of an issue. But as I said, if you're sitting outside somewhere and you're trying to look at your phone, you'll have some issues with it because the brightness is not the best and it might annoy you a little. But other than that, nothing too major. The screen is still very beautiful. You have a 1080 Full HD Plus display right here, plus 120 hertz. So everything else other than the brightness is perfect on this device. So that's overall around it. Maybe performance. Performance is really good as well. I've really enjoyed using it. I haven't had any app crashes. Well, let me not lie. I did have one app crash, and that was when I first updated the device. There was an update and something happened. I'm not sure. One of my apps crashed, but other than that, I didn't have any other app crashes. And overall, the performance is very great on this. It has the Snapdragon 865, so you're not going to have too big of an issue with performance. You have one of the best chipsets out there right now, and that's why the performance is really great on this phone. So that around sums it up. That's basically all I have to say about this device after around 3 months. And if you're asking if you should buy this device, definitely. If you're looking for a device at this price point, you could either go for the OnePlus 8, this, or the Google Pixel 5. But if you're going for an all-rounder, everything is like really good and decent, I'd say the S20 FE. And the only reason I'm saying that is because Pixel, it has a lower-end chipset, and the OnePlus 8 doesn't have the best cameras. However, it still has a pretty good display. But the S20 FE has a really good camera, really good screen, and build quality, honestly, other than the plastic back, is overall just really good. So you should definitely go ahead and buy this phone for this price. Right now, you can even find it for discounts, and that's why I'm saying go ahead. If you're looking for a phone at this price point, go ahead and buy it. So that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.